Today we're taking a quick look back at the history of teams wearing special uniforms for the World Series, as well as the origins of the World Series patch, an annual tradition now for almost 40 years. In 1905, the New York Giants player-manager John McGraw outfitted his team in an all-black uniform specifically for the World Series. This came just 1 year after he boycotted the championship altogether. Maybe the all-black uniforms were his way of protesting the series again, or maybe he was just trying to make his Giants look a little more intimidating. Either way, the Giants came out on top, beating the Philadelphia Athletics in 5 games. 6 years later, McGraw would try this tactic once again, dressing his Giants in all black for the 1911 World Series, again against the A's. But history did not repeat itself, as Philadelphia came out on top. In 1907, the Cubs tried something a little unusual. They wore road gray uniforms at home in the series opener. Why would they do such a thing? Well, in the World Series just 1 year earlier, the Cubbies lost every single one of their home games. Maybe it was the white uniforms to blame. Either way, the league did not like this too much and put an end to it after that one game. But apparently, that one game was enough, as the Cubs went on to sweep the Tigers to win their first of back-to-back world titles. 10 years later, it was the other Chicago team trying something new, as the White Sox adopted special red, white, and blue star-spangled uniforms for their 1917 World Series matchup with the Giants. The uniforms featured a Sox logo on the chest, with stars throughout and red and blue striped white socks. They won that series and immediately retired the uniform, until briefly bringing it back as a throwback for their centennial season in 2001. The commemorative World Series jersey patch would not make their debut until 1987, when the St. Louis Cardinals added the logo to their sleeve before facing the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, for whatever reason, did not join in on the fun, leaving the Cardinals as the sole team to introduce the now annual patch to their World Series uniform. Just 2 years later, in 1989, with the league's 2 Bay Area teams meeting in the Fall Classic, the league got in on the fun and had each club wear a special rivalry-themed World Series patch. That fall, both the A's and Giants wore a Battle of the Bay patch for their crosstown matchup, a series the A's would end up winning in 4 games. It would be the only time a World Series patch referenced the 2 teams who were competing. After the strike-canceled season in 1994, Major League Baseball welcomed back the fans with a new marketing campaign featured around the slogan, "Welcome to the show." It was widely panned by players, media, and fans, but the league apparently liked it enough to stick it on the players' uniforms during the 1995 World Series between Cleveland and Atlanta. The slogan was retired following the season, and never again would we see a marketing slogan added to the World Series patch. Patches first appeared on the caps during the 1996 World Series, a quick and easy way to convince fans to buy a second version of their favorite team's cap. After 20 years on the left side of the cap, the logo switched sides to the right side in 2016 in order to allow a permanent New Era logo to be on the left. Fast forward to 2023, with jersey advertising now abundant throughout Major League Baseball, the World Series patch was shrunk down considerably and relocated from the sleeve to the upper left side of the player's chest. Since patches were introduced, there have been 2 Fall Classics in which the teams did not wear any World Series patch on their jersey at all. In 1997, both the Indians and Marlins opted to continue wearing the commemorative patches they'd been wearing all season instead of the World Series patch. In 2021, with global supply issues causing problems during the pandemic, the Braves and Astros simply wore patches on their caps. Even with the patches now much smaller than before, the World Series patch still remains a badge of achievement, an immediate sign that your team has made it to the pinnacle of baseball. I just hope that someday we can get them bigger and back on the sleeve again. Thanks for watching this look back at the history of World Series patches and uniforms. If you'd like to see more on sports design history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out SportsLogos.Net.